right, let's discuss A24's Green Room, which came out in 2016 officially. I think it says 2015 on the back. Yeah, it says 2016, so I'm right. 2016, probably film festivals in 2015, but came out in 2016, and this stars Imogen Poots, Patrick Stewart, and Anton Yelchin, yep, Anton Yelchin, and this is about a punk band that witnesses a murder, and now they are trapped in this green room, and they have to fight for their lives against a group of white power skinheads. This was my second time watch. I saw it a couple of years back and don't remember much about it. And rewatching it, I feel probably the same way I felt last time. It's just all right. But this is a movie that a lot of people seem to love, and I just don't get it. I just think it's an all right movie, but it seems like a lot of people love this movie. It's got a 7 on IMDb, which is pretty high for any movie, like especially like horror, thriller, and this is like kind of horror, but not really. It's kind of like a weird action thriller, like two groups fighting each other, trying to survive. It's kind of horror, but I don't know. I feel like that's debatable if this is horror, but it's horror enough. Um, but yeah, like I wasn't blown away by it. I was shocked to see how much praise this movie's been getting, like the high rating it has. It was I'm not seeing what other people are seeing, I guess. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but I just don't think it's that level. I think what I like most about the movie is how much it subverts expectations. And I feel like that was the whole goal from the writer, was to just constantly keep doing that. The movie's very grounded in reality. And so around every corner, there's just another thing that happens that's like, oh shit, that just happened. Like it just completely throws away the rule book for movies. Like they set things up in other movies, and then there's always a payoff. You expect certain characters to last to the end or last longer, and you expect certain things to go somewhere, and they just end abruptly. Like characters die, and it's just like no big deal. Like, oh shit, that person's dead. Like I thought they were gonna be in the movie longer. It's just go, go, go. Like these people are just dropping real quick. They're not doing much. They set up a character who knows jujitsu, and you think he's gonna be kicking some ass, but not really. And then they keep talking about how, like, oh, that's a fire hazard, and they just keep hammering that home. You're like, all right, there's gonna be a fire at some point. Nope, no fire. Like, there's so much setup, and there's like no payoff. But the best setup was the desert island band. Like the main character, he never says his answer, so you're just waiting for the payoff at the end where he finally has an answer and he's gonna give it, and the other character's like, tell someone who gives a shit. Like I don't, so he never even gets to say it. Like I love all that stuff about the movie, all the subversion of expectations, and it's pretty quickly paced. It's like only 15 minutes into the movie when they witness this murder, and then it's just nonstop, you know, just running and hiding and negotiating and being attacked. Like it gets going pretty quickly, and the gore effects, when you do get them, there's not a lot of gore in the movie, which is a shame. This could have been like a VFW, before that movie, just killing all these skinheads and having a lot of mayhem. But when you do get the gore, it looks pretty awesome, like realistic. Like when the one dude pulls his arm back into the room, the effects on his arm and his hand, like I gasped. I was like, holy shit. Like I was not expecting that. And the cinematography is good. I like the look of the movie. And I liked the cast, the performances, Imogen, Anton, Patrick. Like he's a pretty cool villain. So yeah, I like the performances, solid. Some of the dialogue was kind of funny. There's some attempts at humor here and there. I like when they reveal their real answers to the desert island band question. Like, I actually choose Prince, stuff like that. So yeah, but getting into what I don't like about the movie is, I think the biggest thing is, one of the biggest things is that I just couldn't really connect to the characters. I didn't really care about anybody. I just could not connect to them. I didn't really feel like I knew them at all. It was just so quickly, like 15 minutes of quick setup we just see them do a couple gigs, and then they show up to this place, and then it's just, shit hits the fan really quick, and I don't really get a chance to know them or give a shit about them. So by the end, I'm like, I don't care what happens by the end to these characters. And there's like very little character development. We just know that they're in a band and they don't want to be famous for some reason, because like they're those people that believe that if you get famous, you're like a sellout or something. That's why they don't have social media for their band. And I'm not a punk rock person, so the soundtrack for this film I thought was dreadful. Like, I hated all the music being played, so it's just not my style. I hated all the songs. And, I love Imogen Poots. I think she's very attractive, but it seemed like they tried really hard to make her unattractive in this movie. The way she's dressed, her haircut, she was not pretty in this film. So that's just a little gripe. That's a little nitpick. But I felt the movie to be very repetitious also. Like, I felt like this movie could have been way more fun, or just, I don't know, like, it's just constantly running back into the room. Like, they lock themselves in the room, and it's just a lot of negotiating, and then they're like running out, and then one person gets attacked. Oh, let's go back inside, and then they go out again. Another person gets attacked. Oh, let's just go right back inside. Just back and forth, and I just wasn't very entertained by all that. I wanted this to be more like VFW. Just have all the skinheads there, have them fuck a lot of them up, maybe make the place bigger so there's more places for them to go, so they're not just stuck in one little room the whole time for the most part. Like, expand it, get bigger place, more areas to hide and run and grab weapons and like come up with smart plans. But this movie wasn't going for that. It was going for more realism. I think maybe the movie's perhaps is too grounded in reality. But yeah, so because of that, the climax to me just kind of felt anticlimactic. So final thoughts. This is a one location sort of action thriller bordering on horror. A24 film that tries to be so grounded in reality that it kind of sucks a lot of the fun that they could have had with this premise right out of it. The filmmaking is great. The performances solid, but I just wanted more from this movie. I wanted more mayhem, more carnage, more thrills that the film just didn't really deliver. So when it comes to Green Room, I'm just going to give it 3 out of 5. As for a spoiler discussion, there's not much to talk about. When the movie opens up, we see that they're in like a cornfield. It looks like they swerved off the road. So is that what happened? Did he actually fall asleep driving? Like, if that's the case, they should be more upset that he almost got them killed. They're just like, oh, did you fall asleep driving? Like, all right, whatever. Like, I would be pissed. That guy's not driving anymore. And then, they're playing at this restaurant. Looks like some Mexican restaurant. And they get like $6 each for that gig. And their band name is Ain't Rights, or Aren't Rights. There's like a typo on the board outside. And their hit song is called Nazi Punks Fuck Off. And of course, the crowd they're playing for is a bunch of Nazis, so they don't really like that song. And then they go to get a phone, they see a dead body, and shit hits the fan. And I like that when the cops arrive, they have these two dudes like stab each other, like Billy and Stu, and scream. I'm feeling a little woozy here. It was a brilliant way to cover up the real reason why the cops were called there. Like, oh, you got a call about a stabbing? Well, this was the stabbing here. All right, now go. And so there's some clever writing here. And then, so, yeah, the guy's hand is nearly severed off. And I like this part of the movie where he's like choking the dude out, and he's like, is he out? And she's like, yeah, he's out. And like, no, he's not out. And then Imogen just goes up with a box cutter and just like performs like an autopsy. He just cuts him open. He just splits open so easily. She does it so like nonchalantly. Like, yeah, he's dead. So yeah, Tiger just gets eaten. The dog gets him, and so they just run back inside. I did find it kind of ironic how these people were dying, given who they were. Like, the guy who's the drummer, I think he's the one that gets like beat to death, and the guy who's the singer gets his throat, chewed by the dog. And, the guy who's the guitarist gets his arm fucking mutilated, so he ain't gonna be playing guitar no more. Daniel joins their team, so he's being a traitor, and then when he goes to, like, get a secret gun, he just gets blasted in the face with a shotgun out of nowhere. And then Sam goes outside, and she gets eaten by a dog also, and she somehow missed the dog with the shotgun, like, up close. I'm not sure how she could possibly miss, but whatever. The fact that those two red lace dudes don't shoot Pat right away when they enter the room, they're like, turn around, kind of bugged me. It's like, why wouldn't they just shoot him on sight and then quickly drag his body to wherever they're trying to stage everything? Just fucking shoot him and get his body out of there. Like, that was the plan. So why you're like, turn around, as if they need to see his face before they shoot him? Like, who else is going to be in there? It's Pat. Just fucking shoot him. So that just felt like convenient, lazy writing to me. When they get to Patrick Stewart, he just starts walking away. Like, what was his plan? I just thought that was so odd. They have him at gunpoint, and then he's like, all right, I'm just going to walk away from this. Like, how far do you think you're going to make it? And they just blast him. Shoot him in the leg, shoot him in the face. It's like, okay. And then they, like, drug and kill this dog. It's going to kill it, like, an hour later, and then it ends up, like, crawling, like, walking to its owner and dying in the owner's lap at the very end. And yeah, that's really the end of the movie. So, but yeah, they tell that one dude to go call the cops, and they really, like, have a lot of faith in that dude to, like, stay true to his word. The one guy who's the producer of this movie, what's his name? Macon, whatever. They just, like, yeah, go call the cops. You're going to do that, right? He's like, yeah, I don't want to go to jail, so I'll go call the cops for you. I don't know. That seemed weird that they actually let that guy go. I don't know. So, but yeah, that's the end of Green Room. What are your thoughts on this movie? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And remember, it's all an opinion. You don't need to get butthurt about it.